It's the most beautiful, weird, unexpected surprise ever. And the fact that I'm getting a chance to talk to you and you're taking the time to represent not just yourself, but your friends. And that's where I want to start. I want to start with the friendship because the music obviously is very important and it's why we fell in love with you all in the first place. But it's very clear that you wouldn't be doing this unless this was about really experiencing the friendship side of your creative again, isn't it?
It is that's so true. We knew that we had these bonds, obviously. We'd see each other every now and then. But it was especially clear when we were in the studio for the first time for this album together, because that was so strange and wonderful at the same time, that the way everything came rushing back like it was yesterday, like this was, a very familiar, normal situation we were in, the four of us. Yeah, okay, we're recording like it was yesterday.
I've asked musicians to try to describe that for many, many years, and I've almost given up on that question. But I'm going to give it one more shot because I don't think I could get a better description of what it feels like to feel that again than from someone like yourself after 40 years of not feeling it. So is there a way that you can somehow find earthly words to describe what that moment was like when you came together?
Well, I mean, I looked around and I looked into Agneta's eyes and Frida's eyes, and there was the same kind of feeling, the warmth and the friendship and the bonds between us that, as you suddenly realize, no one on earth has experienced this kind of relationship that we have. Sadly, I mean, people die and they don't stay on friendly terms for their whole lives, but we have. And I'm so incredibly happy for that.
You've always spoken through your music. Great artists do. And it's only after time and with the benefit of hindsight that we can, as fans, realize that there was a lot more buried in the music than we thought when we were dancing to it. And I think about, a song as you come back with, I Still Have Faith in You. And I want to try to expedite that time and figure out what's in that song and whether you can see and hear in that song messages that you might even be saying to each other without realizing it.
Yeah, definitely. When Benny sent me a demo of that melody, I knew it had to be about us. But at the same time, lots of people and in lots of situations will find that, yeah, this is about them too. And because I love to have hidden layers in the lyrics, and I Still Have Faith in You can be read in many different ways. But I won't, I mean, you get what's face value, and that's about us. But the others, you'll have to think yourself.
But I think about both songs that we're hearing right now, I Still Have Faith in You and Don't Shut Me Down. These are anthems of resistance and strength and the idea of moving past the challenges in one's life. We will all be able to universally appreciate these songs for that reason. But how did it feel watching yourself and your friends conjure up, no doubt, countless emotions that you've experienced in the last 40 years, and for the first time as a team, be able to draw upon those emotions and perform these songs?
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what we did. We didn't know what to expect when we went into the studio. We knew that, it might just be that we're not, we don't have it anymore. And then realizing that we have something to give and something to say, that was an incredible feeling. And in both songs, as you say, that there is a lot of that, the happiness and joy of being able to come back like this and being proud of it. We're as proud of this as we were back in the 70s about those albums. This is the follow-up of The Visitors.
Wow. Wow, that is such a powerful statement. I mean, I love the way that you laid it out in a humble way, but to follow the visitors with with Voyage. I mean, even the way that those two titles string together in a timeline. Did you really think about this in terms of an addition to the legacy as opposed to a standalone reunion?
For me personally, it has become part of a legacy, if you call it that. It's 40 years apart, but it's still very much, you know, the latest album.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's I don't see it as a standalone thing. We take all, you know, that wonderful baggage that we have with us into this production as well.
You said something really poignant before. No one has had this kind of experience in the arts and the way that the ABBA has, and the way that you are able to walk away, live your lives, build upon your success, and build upon your friendship. I mean, that just doesn't happen. One of them normally goes the other way. So as we now start to trace this reunion to some degree, I'm going to go back a little bit and ask you, for you personally, when it went from being a subconscious, planted idea that came from somewhere into something that started to take shape, the idea this might actually happen.
It was initiated by the idea of creating these digital selves, these digital avatars that made us think about maybe we should give them something to sing that we didn't sing, but they can sing. And so that's how it started. And thinking this is a concert with the avatars, and we thought if we'd gone on tour, we'd have written 2, 3, 4 new songs. And Benny called Frida, I think I called Agneta, and asked them if they wanted to try and come into the studio again and just to see what happens. You know, it was as light-hearted as that. We wrote a couple of songs and we thought were great, but we went into the studio just for fun, just to see what happened. And we were as astonished as everyone else that out came the sound of ABBA as though nothing had happened.
I love having these songs in my life now, but I can't help, and maybe I'm just too reflective. I can't help but think about the songs that have been sitting there for 40 years waiting for the four of you to touch them.
Oh. No, most of those songs have been used in musicals, and Benny has a band, a dance band really. And we've written a lot for that, all in Swedish. Mm-hmm. But somehow we've never thought of ourselves as pop musicians or pop writers until maybe now. But doing it our own way, yeah. Our own weird way. So there's nothing on this album that you'll hear that is speculative in the least.
Yeah.
It's we decided early on not even try to go there. Listening to the hit records now and see what they sound like we used to. I mean, we had our ears to the ground all the time and seeing what are the Bee Gees doing this time, and Rod Stewart and what have you. But this time we just wrote, and they're really good songs. That's what they are.
They really are. What I've heard so far is the standard that you've set for yourselves and subsequently for others.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Good
yes,
to hear.
Of course, because you are the same human being searching for inspiration to share. And you summed it up beautifully at the beginning of our chat when you said even you were surprised at how naturally it fit being ABBA again. It really sounds like ABBA.
Yeah. And it just happened again. That was the biggest kick of all, I think, when they started singing together, and there was that sound, and you know, there is Frida is a mezzo, and she's one tone lower maybe than she used to be, and Agneta is a true soprano, also one tone lower, but when one strives to reach up to the other, which Frida strives to get up there, that's when that metallic, typical ABBA sound comes.
My last question at this point, Bjorn, and it's been a pleasure to connect with you about this music and about your return. So thank you for the chance. Hopefully, we'll talk again. But for now, my last question being, once the music was moving and you were connecting with your friends again and being creative again, did it change the way that you woke up and how you moved through the day? And did you feel different than you had done in the last 40 years? And did it surprise you?
Yeah, funny now that you mention it. It's like, yeah, there was something missing, and I didn't know it, but it feels now as though this was the missing piece. This was what was supposed to happen at this moment. You know, you rarely feel that, but I do feel that now. I mean, speaking to you now, I feel yes, wow, so grateful we did this.